Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first episode of the Corner Office of sophomore year. We're
Yeah.
both back at school. As you can see, I'm in my dorm room. It's definitely a dorm room, you know. It's definitely a place on campus that I'm living.
You pay to live there?
Yeah,
Shocking.
yes. You
No, I'm
wouldn't be able to
kidding.
predict that, but
It looks fine.
thanks, man. Appreciate it. We can't get anything to stick to the walls. That's kind of been a problem. Like tack isn't working. The normal stick things are like, so we're gonna have to figure that out and troubleshoot around that. But other than that, it's a pretty cool spot.
There's nothing worse than moving into your room for the year and having to like set it up for like 4 days before you can like sleep comfortably. It's the worst.
Yeah. So that wasn't us. I mean, we just walked in, threw a mattress topper on, and then called it a day. But the walls being really annoying is like pretty annoying, you know. But it is a cool
And just
spot.
like a doldrum gray.
Yeah. Also, one of the lights doesn't work in here. You can't really see it because of the other light, but there's one in front of that one that's like shining behind my head. So I mean, at like 8 in the morning, you'll be in here and you'll be like, oh my goodness, it's like 4 a.m. because it's so dark on this side of campus.
In the middle of day when it's sunny out, you go into your room and you're like, I'm in a Slavic prison right now.
little bit, but it's a cool spot. What about you? You're in the apartment, I think, right?
New apartment. Kind of getting used to living on my own. Taking a big step into adulthood, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's been good so far. Really liking the place that I'm at.
Good. I mean, we haven't been on in a while. I mean, we were just kind of enjoying summer, coasting along. But now we're back, and the NFL season is just a week away. Just a week away.
I made the mistake that I make every year of watching Hard Knocks before I did my fantasy draft.
Okay.
And I ended up taking every player on the Chicago Bears. And
I didn't know
then I took a break. Then I took a break, and I was like, all right, I don't know how I feel about this. And then I started watching it again today. And not only was I like, the Bears are going to win the NFC North, but I was like, I can't wait for football season. And it's only 7 days away now.
It's 7 days away. I mean, next Sunday. Does it start on a Thursday? Is Thursday night football?
There's games on Thursday and Friday.
Wow. Dude, we're just evolving. We're just evolving every year here.
There's nothing wrong with it. If I could watch football every day of the week, I would.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I think it's
actually, I do take that back. I'm gonna walk that take back a little bit. I like not having football on Tuesday or Wednesday, or Saturday, because it gives me something to look forward to. So like that. I get through like, you know, I watch football on Monday night, and then I have like Tuesday, Wednesday, and like the day Thursday to just like wait for football, and then Thursday comes back, and then it's the weekend.
Yep. I mean, look, I'm super excited. Obviously, college football starts it started last weekend, but like it really picks up this weekend. Not to say that I don't care about it, because I do. Like there is some level of care there, but like I really only care that much when we get towards the end of the season there.
Well, because I just don't know any players.
Yeah, I don't really know it as well. That being said, I'm pulling for Oregon this year for some reason. I just like them. You know, I
don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
You see, their coach Dan Lanning, like during the whole Alabama coaching, you know, turnover thing, like he posted a video on his Instagram that was like, if you're worried your coach is leaving, like come here. And I was like, this is awesome. Like I love this. So that's why I'm like pulling for Oregon now.
You know who we're not rocking with? Oklahoma State.
Really?
During their press conference, during the Big 12 press conference, one of their players had just gotten arrested for driving under the influence.
Okay.
And their coach, instead of saying something normal, he was like, well, if that was a rule for, you know, me, I would have done it thousands of times. And I was like, you've driven under the influence thousands of times?
Way to incriminate yourself on live national television. Yeah. I mean, college football is always fun. There's, you know, the high stakes games are always super cool. The SEC is obviously one of the best conferences in the league.
Well, and it's the first year of conference realignment, which I think is going to be interesting.
You know what I saw today? Hold on, just a little side tangent here before we go there. Like Arizona and UCLA is like a non-conference game now.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? Like, that's a crazy thing to think about.
Is Stanford and UCLA went to the ACC, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
It's just stupid. I don't get it. That being said, RIP the Pac-12, and it's just going to be really weird to have a team like Arizona, who is on the West Coast, has been in the Pac-12, has played UCLA in the Pac-12 championship for like 3 straight years, going now to play them in a non-league game like during the regular season. I saw that on college. Like, I was looking at college basketball games to watch like this morning, and I was like, that took me way by surprise.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, I mean, you kind of previewed like what we're gonna do this segment with your Chicago Bears take a little early. We're just gonna run through the NFL standings, and we're gonna give you our picks, our takes for who's gonna be the leaders, and then obviously the losers of each of these conferences here. That being said, I don't know if the Bears are gonna be super fantastic, but I haven't been watching Hard Knocks, so maybe
that's why you don't think that.
Yeah. Did you watch the Lions one?
Oh, dude, I watched every episode. I loved it. I was like waiting, and I was watching them every week when they came out.
Okay,
I love that one.
So let's start in the NFC, just because it makes a lot more sense for us to end with the AFC East, knowing who you and I are. But that being said,
it's not going to be like a surprising pick when we take the AFC East.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay, let's go NFC East to start. To me, this is one of the most interesting conferences in football, like every year. Normally, all these teams like are really competitive. They really don't like to lose to each other. I think the top is very top, and I think the Giants and Commanders suck. Kind of suck. I didn't want to be derogatory towards you. I mean, obviously, you were at a Commanders preseason game the other night, and
I was at a Commanders Patriots preseason game to watch the Patriots.
No, I know more.
But yeah, I do kind of think of them as my second team until this year, where I think of the Chicago Bears as my second team.
I got you. Yeah. All right, so give me a take here for the NFC East. You got the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Commanders. Give me 1 through 4 and why.
Well, if history repeats itself, which it seems to kind of do in this conference, the Cowboys and the Eagles will be at the top. I don't really think anyone's going to argue that.
Mm-hmm.
The other two teams, like the Commanders, are exciting, and the Giants, like, kind of fall by the wayside. I mean, obviously Malik Neighbors is going to be fun to watch, but other than that, I got Giants at 4, Commanders at 3. I think Jaden Daniels could actually have a great first season, maybe better than Caleb Williams. Just because he's starting day one, and he's a little more experienced and has like a modern NFL play style. So yeah, I mean, I actually think that he could. I think that he could hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
He could be like a value fantasy backup quarterback if you can get him.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Eagles in 1, and I like the Cowboys in 2. I like the Eagles in 1 because they've retained basically everyone except Jason Kelce.
Yep.
And they've added Jahan Dotson to their receiving core, and they added Saquon in their backfield.
Yep.
And DeAndre Swift is a great running back on my second favorite team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Saquon coming back to Pennsylvania, back at home, I think that the Eagles are going to be 1 and the Cowboys 2.
Okay. I actually agree with you there. I just haven't seen enough from this Dallas Cowboys team. I think the one thing that Dallas has over the rest of the NFC East is their defense is so good. But that being said, like, you know, Dak kind of took a step forward and backward last year, right? He was in MVP conversations for a while. And then in the playoffs, he just kind of disappeared. He wasn't doing well, and he kind of cost them the game against the 49ers. And you just signed CeeDee Lamb to a massive contract extension. So you're committing to these guys long term. They just signed Dalvin Cook. I mean, I like their signings. I just think the firepower of this Eagles squad is too much. You know, last year they ran out of steam. It's going to be interesting to see what Nick Sirianni can do with this team this year. But for me, I got the Eagles at 1, the Cowboys at 2. I like the Giants at 3. I think Daboll is on the hot seat this year, and I honestly don't know if Daniel Jones is a great quarterback. Like, is he a bad quarterback? Is he a fine quarterback? Like, I can't really tell yet. I think the answer is
he's a bad quarterback.
All right, but now
he's going into his 6th NFL season.
Now you have Malik Neighbors, who just got a jersey unretired for himself. I don't know if you saw that the other day.
No. I didn't.
Yeah, so he's wearing the number 1 in the New York Giants, which I guess was retired in like 1930. But that being said, like I have no idea who that was retired for. But I mean, there hasn't been a more sure thing in the NFL than LSU wide receivers in a really long time. So you have to imagine that he's going to be really good. And for that reason, I'm going to slide them above the Commanders, who I'm always like, this team just does not have that much direction right now, despite the fact that they do have Jaden Daniels, who I really like as a QB.
Yeah, I mean, they're like a perennial mediocre franchise.
Yep.
And the people here are not. All right, we're gonna do this rant.
Okay.
Because I was at FedEx Field the other day.
All right.
FedEx Field is horrible.
All right.
And Washington sports can't get good until anyone cares about Washington sports. Mm-hmm. No one gives a shit about the Commanders. And I know that they just brought in a new ownership group, the Philly Sports Group. We're going to see. Yep. But until you get people going to your games, like it was a primetime game between two I know Jaden Daniels didn't play, but people didn't know that until the day of the game, right? So it was a primetime game between the two of the top 3 picks, and it was nationally televised, and they couldn't even sell out the lower bowl. Like, no one cares about Washington sports, and no one cares enough to, like, pay money to go to a game or, like, pay money to have a new stadium. And until you do that, no one's going to go, and the team won't get better, and they're just going to, like, float on this line of mediocrity. Like, maybe they'll have an upseason, like when Taylor Heineke almost beat Tom Brady in the Bucs but didn't, and then they'll go right back down to, like,
the Sam Howell,
Robert Griffin tearing his ACL, and then they'll come right back up to that line of mediocrity. And until they do something about it, they're always going to stay there. Mm. And it kind of sucks, like, living in a city where no one cares about any of your sports. But on the other hand, the tickets are really cheap, so, like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Go DC Patriots. United games get more packed than Washington Commanders games.
DC United games are awesome.
Shout
just
out
went
DC
this
United.
weekend.
I've been to one game, and
just
it
went
was
this
a really
weekend.
Fun time. It was a really fun time. Really enjoyed it. All right, let's move on to the NFC West while we're here. You have this reinvigorated Cardinals offense. Kyler Murray, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a guy who is kind of on the bubble of, is he a good quarterback? Is he not? Now getting Marvin Harrison. You're going to be matching up with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. I think there's a clear number 1 in here, but I'll let you run me through the board here if you would like to.
This division's always kind of one that I just, like, neglect to care about because their games are always on West Coast. So, when I was growing up, I was always watching, like, the 425 feature game, and it's never, like, Cardinals Seahawks. Mm-hmm. So I was never really watching this division growing up. So, like, it doesn't really have any bearing on my life. I think the 49ers are clear number 1, and I actually think that the Cardinals are number 2. And you're going to have to hear me explain that one. It's one of my bolder takes.
Okay.
Now that I've said it, I want to walk it back, but I'm not going to. I'm going to die on this hill.
All right.
When Kyler Murray is healthy, and it's a huge when, the Cardinals are very good. They have a very consistent running back in James Conner. He's not great, but he's not horrible. He's going to go out there and do the same thing every week. Mm-hmm. And they have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
And Trey McBride, who is one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yep.
So that's a solid offense. If they can get some protection for, Kyler, I think that their offense could be good, and their defense is always just, like, fine. Mm-hmm. So I think that this Cardinals team is going to, be a mediocre team, and that might be enough to, be second in the NFC West. This Rams team, obviously they get Cooper Kupp back. Now they have a dual threat at running back with Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, and they have Puka. Mm. So, I mean, offensively they look good, but they had a really hard time holding teams to less than, like, 30, 35 points last year, which is a lot. So That's the focus for the Rams. And the Seahawks are just kind of there. They're always going to be fine. The Seahawks never play an away game, by the way. Have you noticed that? Every time the Seahawks are on TV, they're playing at home.
Yeah.
Something to keep your eye on this year.
Great fan base.
Yeah, they do, because there's nothing else to do in Seattle.
Yeah.
But I still have them. I have them in last. I have the Rams in third, the Cardinals second, and the 49ers first.
Who is the Seahawks starting QB this year? Is it Sam Howell, or is it going to be Geno Smith still?
I think it's probably going to be Geno.
Yeah, I would assume so too. I don't really hate Sam Howell. He had some pretty, like,
Sam Howell's, like, second in the league in passing yards last year.
I know, which was nuts.
Geno's starter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with a very similar list here. I trust the 49ers to get it done despite the Ayuk situation that's happening, which is not getting better. The answer is that Brandon Ayuk will not be playing with the 49ers, in my opinion. I just don't think he's going to sign there. Like the way that this
it's pretty clear that he's about to be traded.
Okay. Despite what Deebo Samuel said. So, I mean, Deebo Samuel, for any of you who play fantasy football, someone you should pick, it seems like. But that being said, I don't know about this Cardinals team. I'm never really sure, with a team that doesn't have a proven coach. Like Jonathan Gannon, he's definitely a coach. Like he coaches in the NFL. He's kind of an oddball, but
shots, baby, shots. Have you seen that clip?
Yeah. But with that, I like Sean McVay a lot, which is why I'm going to take the Rams at 2. Despite the fact that they've neglected to get any better. Puka Nacua is obviously a good player. They also have Cooper Kupp and some other guys who, Cooper Kupp was white boy of the year 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he won the Triple Crown.
He's still got some white boy of the year in him. But that being said, so I have the Rams at 2. I'm going to slide the Cardinals in at 3, and then I just don't see the Seahawks team being anything special this year. I'm going to put them at 4.
All right, let's move on to the NFC North. In my opinion, the most interesting division in the NFC, arguably in football. And this is there are divisions that I kind of watch more than I watch other ones. Mm-hmm. This is one that I like to watch. Yep. I really like the Bears. I think they could surprise a lot of people.
Really? You?
Yeah, I know. I know that they've done a lot of losing, but they've also made so many good moves. People are forgetting that they have Montez Sweat still on their defensive line. And now they have one of the best receiving cores in the league when you talk about Romo Dunes, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet at tight end, DeAndre Swift at running back, and you have Caleb Williams. He's known for slinging the rock, right? This Bears team made a lot of moves. I think people are sleeping on the Bears. Not only have they made every position on their offense a lot better, but their defense has gotten substantially better too. They re-signed Jalen Johnson, which is huge for them. They signed Jonathan Owens, which is what they needed, a safety. So, I mean, I look at this Bears team. I think that they could be a lot like the Lions team last year if they have that kind of dog in them and surprise a lot of people and maybe go on a run. I am going to put them first.
Wow.
I'm going to have them first. I'm going to have the Lions second. I think that the Lions are actually going to regress a little bit from last year. Now that, people are kind of they kind of know what they're playing against. Lions haven't really made a lot of moves.
Yep.
So I think that they'll either regress or they'll stay kind of the same, but it's hard to kind of play up to the level that they were at last year.
Okay.
I look at this Packers team. It's kind of a big question mark, right? They could be really good. All these guys are kind of developing at the same time. When you look at Watson, you look at Reed and, Jordan Love, obviously. And they brought in Josh Jacobs, which is huge for them. But their defense is it's just not great comparatively, especially in this division. So the Packers are a big question mark for me. I'm going to have them at 3. And the Vikings, I know that you get Jettis back, but at the same time, TJ Hawkinson doesn't come back till week 4, week 5. Yeah, exactly. J.J. McCarthy goes down. I don't think he's an NFL starter anyways. So you have, Sam Darnold back there. He's a career backup. So
seeing ghosts out there, most likely. I will say about Sam Darnold, there is a graphic out there. I'm a big hilarious sports graphic guy. So there's a graphic out there. If you look it up, I'm telling you, it exists, of Sam Darnold pointing at the camera with a football, his helmet, and a football in his hand, and it says, "Out indefinitely, mononucleosis." And it's the funniest thing to me. I don't know why it's so funny, but I'll pull it up. I'll pull up "out indefinitely." I just love when graphics are poorly timed. But that being said, Sam Darnold is not a good quarterback.
I just found the meme.
Did you find it? Yeah. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah. That's what I'm referencing. Why did they do that? Why would they do that? I don't know. It's funny though. But yeah, I'm going to disagree with you a bunch here, it seems like. The Vikings are fourth for me. I think they're the worst team in this conference this year. I don't know if Justin Jefferson is going to stay there for that much longer, especially if they don't have somebody to throw him the ball, although he's making a metric buttload of money, you know. Look, I think Green Bay is going to win this conference. I think they're perennially at the top of the league. I believe in Jordan Love more than I did last year. And that being said, like, I think that they had a really good run this year in the playoffs that, like, you know, it kind of surprised a lot of people. And I'm expecting them to continue to get better. I like the addition of Josh Jacobs. A.J. Dillon being out in their backfield does kind of hinder them, but I'm going to slide them into the 1 just to be different. I'm going Lions at 2. I also think they're going to take a step backwards this year. I just don't trust that Chicago Bears with a rookie quarterback
are
going to be able to, you know, be in playoff contention right now. But that being said, going forward, they are one of the more scary teams in the league. And then I got the Vikings at 4.
All right. Let's run through the NFC South. This is one of those divisions that I don't really care about. They all play at 1. And if you're picking out like your Sunday ticket, like quadruple screen, you're never going to flick on Panthers Saints. You know what I mean? Like
dude, I don't even know.
It's one that, like, during halftime, you know how they, like, do highlights of each games?
Yeah.
They don't even do the highlights. They just put it in the corner because no one cares.
I think it's pretty clear. Do you want to do yours first? Or?
Yeah, I got the Bucks winning.
Really? Over the Falcons?
I do, yeah. I have the Falcons in second. I have the Saints in third and the Panthers in last.
All right, I got Falcons 1, Bucks 2, Saints 3, Panthers 4.
Do you think Kirko stays the whole year?
I don't know. Like, healthy the whole year?
Well, just like you have Michael Penix.
Yeah, I think he's going to start over.
You signed Kirk for 2 years. Like, we'll see. It's a big question mark. I mean, I just don't really. If you're going to like have a young core and you're going to restart your team, you should probably do it with a young quarterback. But they tried that a couple times and it didn't work. So,
well, they haven't had a good quarterback since Matt Ryan. So,
right. And we don't know if Michael Penix is a good quarterback.
Well, we don't know yet, but I mean, that being said, I do like him. Like, I liked him a lot in college. But they're another one of those teams that just like made a bunch of additions. Like, they just got Matt Judon. You know what I mean? Like, they just got better.
They still have a really mediocre
Drake London
offense.
is really good. Kyle Pitts is really good.
No, Kyle Pitts is allegedly really good.
He's supposed to be really good. I'm not really sure yet.
They do have Bijan.
Yeah. Yes, they do. You know, so this is a team that is supposed to be taking a step towards being good. I just don't think the Bucs are fantastic. You know, like Baker Mayfield's your starting quarterback. That's a bottom.
They did win a playoff.
That's a bottom 10 starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield is a bottom 10 starting quarterback.
But look at your Packers point where you said that they surprised you by going on a playoff run.
Yeah.
The Packers playoff run was beating the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Bucs playoff run was beating the Eagles. So, like, I mean, and if you had to ask me, like, who I wanted when the game counted, Baker or Kirk, it's a closer conversation than you would think.
In primetime, because Kirk is atrocious in primetime for some reason.
Yeah, if the Falcons get that 8 o'clock slot, Kirk's throwing 4 picks.
Kyle Pitts is going to get hands on 2 of them and just not haul it in. But
yeah, dude, they're going to be tip drill merchants this year.
Let's go AFC South then. Back to the AFC.
I like that, yep.
Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans. Another team, to me.
It's an interesting division.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the Texans. I like the Texans. I like CJ Stroud.
I like that whole team.
They've obviously got better. Like, the addition of Stephon Diggs makes you a better team.
Right.
I got them at 1. I got the Jags at 2.
I agree.
Who is the Titans head coach? Now that Rabel's gone? I have no idea.
Brian Callahan?
Okay.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals?
Not a guy I know.
So we'll see.
The Colts are always just not that good.
It depends on how good A-Rich is.
What do you mean? Yeah. Well, it depends on how healthy A-Rich is, right?
Yeah, if he can be healthy, the Colts will be 3. If they aren't, it's going to be – I think the Titans are 4, regardless. I think that the Colts could be anywhere between 3-1 based on how healthy Anthony Richardson is.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lock in Texans 1, Jags 2, Colts 3, Titans 4. I'm going to agree with you. It seems pretty straight up to me.
I like it. Let's go AFC North then.
We got arguably the best division in football.
It has to be. It has to be. Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. All four of these teams I could see in the playoffs next year.
I just mean historically. Like over time, the AFC North could be the best division in football.
I could see any of these four teams winning. 3 out of 4 I could see winning a Super Bowl.
Okay, I think the Steelers are going to finish at 9-8. Yep. I think that we can lock that in. They're either going to be 3 or 4. I think that the Browns, like every year people look at the Browns and they kind of rate them like too high, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think this Browns team is going to be fine, but if like last year, if they don't have like a Joe Flacco to rally behind, how far do they get?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that I have Browns 4, Steelers 3. And then you look at the Bengals and the Ravens, and it's kind of a coin flip, right? Mm-hmm. If Joe Burrow can stay healthy all year and they keep T. Higgins, and obviously they need to re-sign Jamar before the season. Please, because he was my first overall pick in fantasy.
They did.
Did they do it today?
I think they did 2 days ago.
No.
Oh, they remain in discussions. Okay. He's going to get signed there.
So they have 1 more year guaranteed of this core. They need to get something done. Mm-hmm. Also, they pick up Mike Gesicki, which is a big pickup for them.
Yep.
Because they need a tight end. And I think Chase Brown takes a big leap this year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have the Bengals 1 and I have the Ravens 2.
I'm going to flip those if it's me. I like the Ravens. I just like
Lamar. Talk to me about the Ravens.
I just like Lamar that much. I think their defense is always really solid. You add Derrick Henry to your rush game, so that makes you really dynamic. Now you have the speed and the power.
Derrick Henry's 30 years old, though. Keep that in mind. He had a bad season last year.
He had a 1,000-yard season.
I'm just trying to argue with you.
No, you can't. I don't know how bad a 1,000-yard season is. Look, I mean, they're very solid. I like Harbaugh as a coach. They're a team that I usually pull for. Obviously, you have Derrick Henry. I think their wide receivers are always pretty weak. You know, you have Nelson Aguilar, you have Zay Flowers. Like, you got some guys that are okay.
I like Zay a lot. I think Zay's very good.
He's fine, right?
Takes a big step.
How many yards is he going to catch for? Because they don't pass that much. You know, it's all dependent on the run game.
I think he gets more targets this year than he did last year.
Okay.
I think he cracks 1,000 this year, and they have Mark Andrews back.
Correct. Which is big for them.
Huge. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what this Ravens team does. I don't trust that Joe Burrow is going to stay healthy, and I don't necessarily trust that Lamar is either, but I just think that they're a better coach team than the Bengals are. So I'm going to take the Ravens at 1, Bengals at 2. I think they both make the playoffs and are both very teams that you do not want to see. I think the streak breaks this year for Mike Tomlin. I don't think that they will be over 500. I'm going to put the Browns in 3 and then the Steelers in 4.
I honestly hope so because he's been getting away with it for way too long.
Yeah, they've been very mediocre. But, like, again,
they've been bad.
With quarterback play from Kenny Pickett, like, I don't really know what you expect. That being said, Russell Wilson was not good last year, and he's now your starter. So
they should start Fields, in my opinion. But
I think so, too. I think he's much more of a threat. But I guess we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, this is the conference to watch, I think, this year in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to the West.
Yep.
Another kind of cookie cutter division. Like, we all kind of know what's going to happen. Chiefs won. You couldn't even sell me on Chiefs being anything but 1.
Yeah.
And the rest of the teams, like, it's like, who's going to lose to the Chiefs by the least amount of points? Who's going to beat the Chiefs once on Sunday at 1 o'clock? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just like none of these teams are going to be good at all. Chargers are in a full-on rebuild. They just sold house. The Raiders have no direction at all.
They also have no quarterback.
Right?
They have a bottom 2 quarterback in the NFL.
The Broncos, in my opinion, wasted a first-round pick on Bo Nix.
Oh, I disagree. But I think he's their starter. I think he won the starting spot.
He won the starting spot.
I think he'll be better than people expect him to be. But like
but what's that expectation?
Better. Kenny Pickett,
right? Like that's not good.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett was a wasted first round pick.
Okay,
even though he was the last pick in the first round. Like,
okay.
I just don't see any kind of future for any of these teams. I think I could name a combined 15 players from those three teams. So, and I watch a lot of football. So I say we just move on. I got Chiefs 1, and who gives a shit for the other three?
Okay. All right. I'm with that. Now to the division we've all been waiting for. The AFC East, the one that's near and dear to our heart. And, dude, have you ever watched Drake May play football?
Who's Drake May?
He looked like Tom Brady out there.
I only see Tom Brady.
Oh, man. So the Drake May stuff is already coming out. I think Brissett's still the starter for the Patriots.
Yeah, Brissett was named the starter for week 1.
Yeah. We'll see how long
Alex,
that
over
lasts.
under week 4.5, Brissett is still starting.
Oh, I think he'll start until he throws 4 picks week 1. And then I don't think he'll start more than 4 games.
Over under 6 in-game minutes before the We Want May chance.
Oh. I'm gonna give it the third quarter. It's gonna happen in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's generous. I think it'll happen the first time that Bryce Behringer struts out there to punt the ball away.
Okay.
I have a hot take about the Patriots, actually.
Here we go.
I think that we could develop this receiving core into being like a very, very good, or at least very serviceable. When was the last time
we had a very serviceable receiving core?
When was the last time that we drafted a receiver that everyone was really excited about?
I don't know.
Maybe never, right? Like certainly not in our lifetimes.
Potentially never.
I'm really high on Jalen Polk. I think that he could develop into being like a legitimate like Pro Bowl wide receiver. I think he's that good.
Okay.
I really like Pop Douglas too. He is like your perfect kind of slot receiver, really small, really shifty, and can kind of do it all. I like the way that he looks. And I have nothing positive to say about Tyquan Thornton. He's going to have to prove a lot of people wrong.
Okay.
And he's our X receiver this year. He's our wide receiver 1. So, I mean, we'll see. But I think this Patriots team could develop into being like a pretty good team, but they're still obviously a couple years down the road of that.
Did they cut Bailey Zappi yet?
Yeah, they cut Zappi.
When was
and
that?
They cut Chad Ryland.
Which one? Who's he?
The kicker who missed the kick in order to give us Drake May.
Oh, the one that we drafted like in the third round?
Yeah, we cut him.
Why did we cut that?
We drafted him last year. We drafted him last year, and we cut him because he was horrible.
Yeah, he was bad.
Horrible.
That being said, where was I going with this?
I still have the Patriots in 4. By the way, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that this year the Patriots should not even like. If you're a Patriots fan, you shouldn't even be worried about like the win-loss column.
Yeah,
we could have 5-6 wins. I just want to be excited to watch football every week. I want to wake up and be like, it might not be this week, it might not be next week, it might not even be this year, but at some point, this group of guys is going to figure it out together, and then we're going to have another core group of like guys on a team that could maybe win us 8 or 9 or 10 games in a year, and it might be a couple years down the road. But look at the Red Sox this year, right? No one had any expectations of them going into the season. Mm-hmm. Now they're vying for a wild card spot.
And that would fun to watch.
And they're super fun to watch. And they have a lot of really young guys that they can build around. That's all that I could ask for with the Patriots this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think they're going to be that good. I think that they're – okay, for me, I have Miami at 1. Buffalo at 2.
Wow.
New York at 3, and then the Patriots at 4. I think that Miami, their offense is so good, man. And I think that the Bills losing Stephon is going to be a bigger issue than people are letting on.
I'm going to argue that take. I'll let you finish, though.
Okay. I just don't see them having that much firepower on offense. Their defense is obviously really good. Josh Allen, pretty good quarterback, had some really good games last year and some really bad ones. I don't know. I just don't know who your wide receiver one is. Keon Coleman? Like
Curtis Samuel?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, they don't have Gabe Davis anymore either. Like they just lost a lot of pieces. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think their window is closing. It's my take
so,
on it.
I don't think their window's closing. Okay. I'm really high on Keon Coleman. I think he's going to be I'm going to say the third best receiver to come out of this class, but I think he's anywhere from 3 to 1. Or no, I'm sorry, 4. Like he's 1 through 4. I'm really high on him. I think he's really good. I think if you look at Stephon Diggs last year, he kind of took a step back last year, and he's getting old.
I mean, he definitely
he's 32, something like that. He's getting pretty old.
The Minneapolis Miracle was a while ago, you old fart.
So I actually think that getting someone young to get in there and maybe extend this window a little bit longer is good. They love him in Buffalo. I love him. Yeah, office. Seriously. $100 million in cap space. Keon Coleman, I think, is going to be really good. I took him in every fantasy league that I'm in.
Okay.
So I'm high on the Bills. I think that they just kind of win. And the Dolphins, it's kind of, are they going to win? Or are they going to lose in the first round?
Not win. Yeah.
We'll see. I have Bills 1, Dolphins 2, Jets 3, Pats 4.
Okay.
But I think that this Jets team could low-key be really good too. I think 1, 2, and 3 is kind of a toss-up, to be honest.
The Jets are going to jet, bro. You know it.
The Jets are going to jet. That's why I'm in 3. But if they mark Sanchez and limp their way to a AFC Championship,
yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, it could happen. It's definitely crazier things have happened, but I don't know if that's very plausible.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints.
What about him? Oh, Jameis. I forgot you were cold calling me.
I was waiting for you to do it to me the whole time.
No, I didn't think. I forgot all about it, as you can tell by my response to that. But that being said, those are our picks. We're going to see how they age. Maybe we got a couple of them right. Maybe we didn't. We got a draft coming up, dude. It's been a while since we've done a draft. You want to intro it or?
Go for it.
All right, cool. So everybody has those days where like everything kind of goes wrong. And today that was me. Like
that was me yesterday.
I just did not have a good day today. So I was walking back to my dorm from the other side of campus because I had to go to the mail center, which is 25 minutes away from my apartment. A walk downhill and then back uphill. And I was like, this is a bottom 5 feeling right now. Like this is one. So I was like, why don't we make a draft out of this? Like things that I would say this is bottom 5. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing bottom 5 feelings draft. I'm super excited. I love my list. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go?
You take first. Are we gonna do snake or I don't think we need to do snake. I think we just do 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, you take first.
All right. For me, the number 1, yeah, I think it's an obvious number 1. It's being told that your ox is bad. Like getting kicked
that
off
is a
of
bad
the
one. Because normally it's by someone who has unrespectable ox.
Or someone that you like really care about. And it hurts even worse that time.
Yeah.
But like everybody's had that one moment where someone's like, yo, like who's playing this? It's garbage. Like
every time I've had that happen to me, it's from someone who I'm like, you're gonna tell me I have bad ox?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It doesn't feel good, regardless of the situation. And for me, that's why it's a number 1 a top 5 bottom 5 feeling. So I'm taking it at number 1.
Let me paint a picture for you for mine.
Okay.
You wanted to go watch UFC and you didn't want to buy the pay-per-view, so you found the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings.
Mm-hmm.
And you took down 20 boneless Asian zing.
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
And you're driving home and you're about 8 minutes away from your house and your stomach starts growling and you think to yourself, is it going to be shit? Or is it going to be dry? So with my first pick, I'm taking gambling on a fart.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think we all know how bad that is.
I Asian Zing will get you, dude. You gotta watch out.
Real bad. Real bad.
Sticking with the food, sitting down to have a nice like spaghetti bolognese dinner and just spilling it all over yourself. Bottom 5 feeling.
Maybe throw a white t-shirt on.
Not only do you feel like an idiot, maybe you're out at a restaurant and you have to like walk around for the rest of the day like that, and then you got to stain stick your clothes and pray it comes out in the wash. Like it's a whole scenario just because you couldn't keep something on a fork.
I stopped doing that around the age of 11, but I can understand where you're coming from. It sucked back then. All right, so for my second pick, this one's going to be kind of a niche one for all like the college students out there, or maybe high school students. But when you're sitting in class and you're like, man, this class has been going on forever. Like, I know we're almost done. Let me just look at my phone and see how much time is left.
Yeah.
And there's like an hour left in class, and you have to sit there for the rest of the class and just like watch the seconds spill away on the clock.
I would add in like looking at your phone to see the time and then like looking back at it.
Yeah, and it's like 2 minutes later.
And it's been like 5 minutes and you're like, oh my God.
For sure.
What am I doing? That's a good pick.
You draw like a Da Vinci masterpiece on your like note sheet, and then you look back and it's like 12 minutes later.
It's a good pick.
Appreciate that.
My number 3, trying to go to sleep when it's 100 degrees out and humid and you have no air conditioning.
Do you have any experience with that one?
One of the worst feelings ever. One of potentially the worst. It's just an absolute nightmare. Like, one, you're upset. 2, you can't sleep. 3, you're sweating all over the place. And 4, like, you just can't get comfortable.
So I would also add into that, like when you run out of water, like when you're like in that scenario, when you're done with your water bottle, then you have to hit the go to the bathroom and get a new water bottle combo. And then you walk outside and the lights are so bright and you're like, you get flashbanged by the hallway. That sucks too. And then like, I won't even be sick. Like, I'll be perfectly healthy, but I'll just go like find some NyQuil or something to just like knock me out, or like a melatonin, just knock me out at that point.
Okay.
So it's a good pick. I like that in your 3.
Thank you.
My 3 is maybe you just like get off work, or you, maybe you get out of practice and you're so tired, but you still have to get behind the wheel and drive 45 minutes, half hour back to your house.
Yeah.
Driving when you're so tired that you can't focus at all.
It would probably be safer, like, for me to drive a scooter on I-95 than like get in a car and have to drive like 30 minutes after landscaping all day or like doing something.
It would be safer for me to drink a bottle of Everclear and get behind the wheel than it is for me to drive 45 minutes home after painting in 100-degree sun all day.
Yeah. It's not a fun time.
No.
It's not a fun time. All right, number 4, very straightforward. Pit stains suck.
Suck, dude. They are the worst. No amount of deodorant's going to stop it.
And then it gets, like, it starts to, like, seep into the shirt.
Maybe you like, put your arm out, and it, like, drips a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then when you get, like, the like, white stains on your shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm taking pit stains as a bottom 5 thing.
Yeah. That's a good one. I have a similar one to my second pick, but it's kind of a little more developed.
Okay.
When you are like asleep and you wake up naturally, right? And you're like, oh, it's like 3, 4 a.m. I get to sleep for another 4 hours before my alarm goes off. Then you check to see what time it is, and your alarm's like 6 minutes away from going off.
Yeah.
That's a horrible feeling.
Really bad one.
Every day is a bad day after that.
I'm gonna build off of that one for my number 5. You wake up in the morning doing that same thing, and you go to check your phone, and you realize you did not plug it in last night, and it is completely dead.
Bad feeling, dude. Bad feeling. That's a good pick. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, that's real bad.
That's a day ruiner, and your day hasn't even started yet. Like it's an absolute derailer.
That's like a first breath ruiner.
Yeah.
All right, my last pick is like you're out at like a restaurant, right? And you see this item and you get really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's like a sandwich or it's like a big dinner, and then you get it and it's just done really badly.
Yeah.
Or they messed up your order. One of those two.
This is a Gary's throwback right here. This is a mashed potato pizza call out.
Yeah, like Gary's, take the mashed potato pizza off your menu. Please.
To preface this, there are only like 5 people who understand what we're talking about. But we were in Bridgeton like a week or 2 ago, and we went out to this restaurant to like get food and then go watch the Red Sox game or watch the Patriots preseason game. That's what we were doing. Yeah. And Otto's Pizza, which is a spot like that's pretty big, they do a really good mashed potato pizza, which is like, you know, you have the dough and then mashed potatoes and then like some bacon bits and other goodness on it. And Jack was like, "Oh, mashed potato pizza, like I'm gonna order that." And he gets it.
And it came and there was no cheese or like anything or like sustenance. Like there was just nothing. It was the thinnest dough with like the littlest crust, and then like an inch and a half of mashed potato.
It was,
and then like bacon on top of it. It was literally a pizza that was 85% mashed potatoes.
It was if you took all the meat and good stuff out of a shepherd's pie and put like bad mashed potatoes in it, and just threw that on dough. And then like trotted it out like it was normal. It was really
but like either having it be like, and I was starving too. Either having it be like really bad, like the mashed potato, or like you order a sandwich and you're like, "Hey, can I please get it without onion and mayo?" And they bring it to you with everything on there, and just like completely flip you the bird and neglect entirely what you said. It is the worst. So that's my last.
Because then I'm like, a guy like me is just gonna eat the sandwich. You know, I'm not gonna cause a scene. Like I'm not gonna make
I'm gonna scrape it off and then I'm gonna complain to everyone at the table. But when the waiter comes over and asks me if I am enjoying my meal, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah,
so good.
I love it."
Do you have any honorable mentions for this, or?
Well, I made this list like right before. Right before we started recording, so I don't really have many, but I will say, like when you leave like your house for the day, and you like leave in like maybe like a t-shirt and shorts, and then it starts pouring while you're out, and you have like a 20-minute walk back in the rain. That sucks.
Yeah.
And then when your devices die at more than 0%, like when your phone dies at like 8%, or when your computer dies at like 5%. That's
right. You thought you had a lot more time, and then you just kind of went away on you. Yeah,
I feel like this is one that
which kind of fit in with
this is one that we could kind of do, like we could do this weekly based on our experience.
This is a very like this happened in real life, so we're gonna rant about it type of experience.
All of mine have happened in the last 2 weeks.
I have walking outside in slides and then noticing it's raining, but you can't like fix your mistake, because that's happened to me like 8 times. I don't know why. It happens to me all.
I would never do that. It's not me.
I have getting something to eat, or like going to check the fridge for like leftovers you've been thinking about all day, and then noticing that someone ate them.
Yep.
It's not a fun one. I have that sand feeling when you leave the beach, you know?
Yeah, it's gross.
Yep. Yeah, not fun. And then I have like falling down or tripping in front of a massive group of people.
Just like people laughing at you?
Yeah, not fun.
I'm all for people laughing at something that I've said or done on purpose, but when I accidentally do something and get laughed at, it really sucks.
Yeah.
That's a good list. I think that we could do that one again.
I agree. That was fun, though. This was a good episode.
Yeah. we'll be back next week, hopefully with some guests to kind of talk about football and maybe get some more diversity. Maybe we could argue a little bit. Something we don't really do on the show.
I have some absolute idiots for teammates this year, so we can get them on and let them just be stupid.
So last year, Kush and I talked for 3 hours probably and just gave out like our football takes and kept track of who had good ones and who had bad ones. All of mine were some of the worst takes that you have ever heard in your life.
Yep.
And his were like good. So I think that we'll try and get him on and have like an NFL hot takes kind of show.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for that.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for listening. We will be back next week for the beginning of the NFL season. But until then, I am Jack.
And I'm Alex.
And this has been the Corner Office.